Bien, bueno, bienvenidos a una nueva edición del Hackathon más esperado por el público argentino. Estamos acá empezando el stream del Workshop Day para el Hackathon Tierra de Builders 2025. Le damos muchas gracias a toda la gente que está del otro lado, que hoy vamos a tener unos días de workshop bastante completo y bueno, es súper importante y presten mucha atención de todo lo que vamos a ver el día de hoy porque va a ser importante para después poder integrar en el hackathon estos protocolos. La agenda es bastante larga, así que no queremos robar mucho más tiempo, queremos empezar ya. Cualquier duda, saben, está en el grupo de Telegram de Ethereum Argentina, tenemos el Discord también de Builders. Pueden escribirme también a mí, mi Telegram es lingo-s, así que nada, cualquier duda que tengan pueden escribirnos y si no también pueden visitar el link que les voy a dejar ahora abajo, que es el link de Taikai, para los que todavía no se anotaron al hackathon, se anoten, y los que están anotados y quieren saber más info, ya, estamos subiendo ya todos los premios. Una vez que termine el workshop va a estar subido todos los premios y toda la distribución de premios, todos los bounties. Así que nada, si tienen alguna duda, entren al link de Taikai y está toda la info ahí. Así que bueno, sin más preámbulo, voy a presentar al equipo de DefilLlama. Tenemos Ulises, Pat, hello.
Hi.
How is it going?
It's good. It's good. Happy to be here.
Good. Perfect. Welcome to the Hackathon, Ethereum Argentina Hackathon, Tierra de Builders. Okay. This is your time and try to connect with the builders.
Yeah. So, how many are in the room? Let's see. I'll try to share my screen as well. Let's see. Okay. Can people see my screen? Patrick, maybe you could answer. Or, yeah.
I can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. I'll do one thing. I'll give a brief introduction of DefilLlama, then I'll go through some of our APIs. The idea of the hackathon is like, go crazy, try building something cool with our API, or like try to form like a new metric. It's up to you. DefilLlama started somewhere around 2020, 2021, and initially we were tracking only TVL. TVL is sort of amount of money that is locked in a smart contract. Let's say a decentralized exchange like Uniswap, how many tokens are there, or like a lending application like Aave, we track the amount of collateral and amount of money pooled in that people can borrow. So that is the TVL. Then over time, we sort of expanded and started tracking other things as well. Something like token unlocks, or like how much trade happens in a decentralized exchange, and how much fees are generated by different applications. The stable coins, like which chains the stable coins are active, where it's being used. And recently, we even started tracking DATS. It's like digital asset treasury, like how much crypto assets like the different companies own, and the value, what kind of crypto assets and the value and such. Let's see. So this is our homepage, and we have some other products as well. One is like a aggregated product, a feed. So instead of going to Twitter or some other sources, we pull it all together. Then we have some sister organizations, which is a news organization called DL News and a research entity. Can the participants message or like how does it work? Or ask questions? Hello? Okay, I'm going to assume no, and then I would start with, I'll share a link to our API documentation in case someone doesn't know. You can go to our website, DefilLlama.com, select more, and select API reference. Then it should give you this. Okay. Like I said, these are our public endpoints. I'm not logged in or anything. So TVL is like the amount of value secured by a smart contract. Then coins is like, this is an API you use to fetch token prices, either current token price or the historical data. Stablecoin. Yield is like, we track how much yield you can get when you deposit tokens into different protocols. Let's say if you want to compare the amount of yield you'll get if you deposit into Aave compared to if you deposit to some Morpho Vault. So it sort of gives you a comparison, kind of like comparing savings rate between different banks. Then the volume endpoint, it gives you comparison between either you can see decentralized exchange like spot data or perpetual data or say options trading data. Fees and revenue, yeah, like the name suggests, you can see how much fees the chain or a protocol generates per day and how much of it goes into the protocol itself. Like, let's say you're using Uniswap right now. Currently, Uniswap generates a ton of fees, but it has zero revenue because the protocol itself doesn't take a cut from the fees. So Uniswap will have a lot of fees, but zero revenue. Okay, maybe I can show it from the page. So Uniswap. You can go to fees and revenue tab. So if you check, it generates about 3.6 million or like 2 million plus fees every day, but it has zero revenue because they have not turned on the fee switch. Once they turn it on, they'll have revenue as well. Let's say if you look at Aave, so Aave on average also has generates similar amount of fees, like 2.5 million, but they also take a cut of when users borrow any token, they have to repay, they take a part of the yield. So on average, they have 340K revenue per day. Then, yeah. So that's the difference between fees and revenue. Fees is how much users pay to a protocol, and revenue is how much percentage of the fee go to either the protocol team or the token holders. Some protocols, we even have a breakdown between the part that goes into protocol team or like let's say Uniswap Labs, how much money goes to the Uniswap Labs. Let's say Uniswap turns on a fee switch and keeps or distributes 80% of the fees to either the Uni token stakers or it buys back from the market and burns. So now 80% of the revenue would be considered as token holder revenue, because as a token holder, you're getting some value. And the other 20% that goes to uni labs would be treated as protocol fees. This means it goes into the team, like maybe for maintenance or like revenue. Yeah. Then, yeah, perps, I don't have to say. We track different perpetual exchanges like Hyperliquid or Ace. For those who don't know, the difference between normal DEX and a perp DEX is like a normal decentralized exchange. For a trade to happen, you need to have the underlying assets. Let's say on Ethereum, you want to swap Uniswap token to Aave token. You need to hold the Uniswap token, and the other person has to hold the Aave token. Only then a swap can happen. But for a perpetual swaps, you trade on the synthetic. You don't need to hold the actual tokens. You trade contracts. So active users, to be honest, we have not worked so much on this because like there is not much interest in the market. This API allows us to track. I can show you maybe. It's a pro API. Okay, ignore it. It's a pro API, so it's not the free one. It's like you can track how many users have used a protocol or a chain, or how many addresses, because users is the wrong term. User can have multiple addresses. So we track how many addresses interacted with either a given protocol or were active on a chain on a given day, month, like unique users, new users, yeah, those kind of activity. Unlocks is like when a VC or entities purchase a token, or like they don't get the tokens immediately. So there are some schedule and people get tokens over time. And the unlocks we track for the tokens that have made this information public. Okay. This is actually a powerful thing because usually most APIs you get at a per protocol level or per chain level information. But these endpoints, it allows you to fetch the entire, it pulls all the information. Unfortunately, it is still pro, so I'm going to skip all of this. Okay, let's start with protocols.
By the way, we is available
What?
for any participants who want to use a pro API. So, like during the hackathon, we will have a API key available that people can use.
Okay. I don't know. It's good. Good to know. Yeah. Thanks, Patrick. Let's see. So this is one of the main API endpoints. This would give you I mean, it's just a GET request. So for ease of use, I'm doing it from VS Code, but in theory, you could just open it on the browser. This, sorry, yeah. It's a bit heavy endpoint because it gives list of all the protocols that we track and all the protocol metadata. I'll go through each field. ID is like the unique ID we use for each protocol. Well, name is like the label. Okay, maybe I'll use a decentralized one instead of Binance. Let's take Aave v3. So this is the unique ID we use for a protocol. So whether you check for the TVL endpoint, volume, or fees, this ID will be the same. It's unique identifier for Aave v3, version 3 of the lending product. Name is the label we use for the product. And so if you go to the website, so we have a protocol and a sub protocol we classify it as. So this page, this overall page is the protocol page. This includes all the different sub protocols, Aave v1, v2, v3. All the data are aggregated here. For example, Aave v2 has a TVL of ever since version 3 came along, the v2 TVL dropped. It now has 225 million. If you go to v3, yeah, 32 billion. So this TVL is the value of tokens that are still in the protocol. Like, let's say you deposit $100 and $50 of it is lent out, the protocol TVL will be 50, not 100. This sometimes confuses people, but that's how we track, because people can loop. Okay, let's see, going back here. This main protocol's API, it will also return the TVL field, 32.8, same as this page. Then we have the breakdown information as well. So this is like the current TVL. This value is always the later. So usually, let's say 15 to 1 hour since we have pulled the data. So close to current time. And this is the breakdown by chain, which you can see. It's easier to see here. So if you see, most of the TVL is on Ethereum, then Plasma, Arbitrum. So here you have the breakdown, the Plasma TVL, or Ethereum TVL. And it also includes the borrowed information. How much of it is borrowed? I think 22 billion is borrowed. And you have a chain level breakdown of the borrowed amounts as well. So going back, this address here is like if a protocol is linked to a token, or like Uniswap as Uni token, here it's Aave. You can go check it out. Yeah, it's the token information. Then the token symbol, web page info, some description. So list of chains where the protocol has been deployed to. The type of protocol, category here. CoinGecko link. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's why it's null, but probably because same. Okay, This oracle can be interesting. Sometimes this tells me that Aave protocol is secured using Chainlink. Aave uses Chainlink as the price feed to know the current value of tokens. Sometimes protocols have multiple oracles. Like, to be safe, maybe if Chainlink is not updating prices because of some issue, maybe they have a fallback one. Then, like Pith, then this is the array, so it can have multiple oracles. So yeah, you could ignore the module field. It's for like if you want to look up how we compute the TVL, this is the link file. Let's see, I can go back here and show. Yeah, from the web page, you can just click a link. Yeah, it will take you to our TVL, the TVL adapter code. Since almost all of our code is open source and you can check it in our GitHub repository, here you could see the information. These are the contracts that we use to pull the data. We built a helper because there's a lot of forks of Aave. So this way, you don't duplicate code. So you can look around the source code as well, how we've implemented. Yeah. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, here. So this module links to the TVL repository in case someone is curious to look up how we compute TVL of different protocols. Well, the Twitter handle, then if someone has done audits, like you can check up when did we list it? Like I was saying, parent protocol. Usually, most new protocols, they have only one product, so there is no parent, but like Aave has been around for a while and there have been different versions. So we give an option to the users. Either they can see an aggregated view like this or the breakdown view. That's why this is the link. Then, yeah, dimensions, like this is to let people know what are the other metrics for a protocol that we are tracking. Aave is a lending application, so we're not tracking DEX or per volume, but we are tracking their fees. That's why we have the fee field, and yeah. Methodology describes how we compute the total value secured. And yeah, hallmarks is like well, this field. Some significant event happened. Let's say, I think the best example for that would be Anchor. So Anchor, for those who don't know, was on Terra Luna. People deposited a lot of Luna and it had a ton of value, but on the fateful 7th of May, UST token depegged and there was like a death spiral. That's why the TVL dropped from 15 billion to 0. And we have like a marker explaining why did the TVL drop. So that is this hallmarks field. See, yeah, this is like percentage of change of TVL. So compared to an hour ago, it dropped 1%. compared to yesterday, it dropped 4%. I'm guessing mostly because crypto market went down. It's funny because compared to 7 days ago, it's actually up 6%. But yeah. So this is the protocols API. I've gone through one protocol, but we have like 7,000. So it's quite big. That's why it takes a while to load. So the next one is, so this gives an overview of all the protocols that we have. You can use this endpoint either to get the metadata, to get a list of protocols that we have, or if you want the overview of all the TVL. The next endpoint is like you get a breakdown, like you can go deeper into a protocol. That is like API llama fee protocol / the protocol name. Here I'm going for the parent protocol Aave. That would include the data of all the underlying protocols. So, I mean, the fields here are already explained: ID, name, URL. It's all the same. We also have, if some stable coin is linked to a protocol, let's say Maker has DAI linked to it, or Sky has USDS linked to it. So you have that information as well over here. Aave is linked to Go token. So you have that info here. Then you have a breakdown per day information. So at a chain level and at an overall level, like Aave has staking. You can stake Aave tokens. So this key has the value of tokens staked on each day. Let's see, epoch committer. Sorry. Okay. It's in Unix time. So on December 3, 2020, about 244 million worth of Aave tokens were staked. So this date is like per day level. This would be December 4. This way, yeah, this is also a bit of a heavy endpoint, but like in case you want to compare different protocols, TBL on a day level, this is the endpoint you would use. So this has all the data of a protocol, like the metadata information, plus TBL breakdown by day. And it has overall TBL breakdown, and it has a token level breakdown as well. So yeah, let's see, I can go down to the portal. So it's Aave is probably not the best example because it's quite huge. But, yeah, we also include raises field. It's not on the parent protocol, but on sub protocol route. We include the information of how much money the protocol has raised, the date it was raised, what kind of round it was, and the amount that was raised. I think the amount here is in millions. Not wrong. Let me check here. Yeah, 3 million, 25 million, and 4.5 million. They had 3 raises in 2020. Let's see. What else? Okay, these are all the information you can get from the protocol level, or like trivial info you get from here, this endpoint. Then I would briefly touch Coins API. Coins API is interesting because it allows you to pull, let's say, we had Aave token. So I'm going to try and pull the current price information of Aave token. So its prices current. The format we use for a token is the chain key colon the token address. Let's say I also want to pull SETH price and WBNB price, for example. Ethereum and shit, okay. 1 sec. Sorry. Wait, sorry. You guys cannot see my, or can you see the screen?
We can see Etherscan right now.
Shit. Okay, sorry. I was, yeah. I was showing VS Code. I forgot that I'm not sharing that. So this is the, I'll repeat. So I'm using this prices current endpoint, and I'm using, I'm trying to pull the price of 3 tokens. Maybe I'll also pull one from RTScan. Let's say I want to see the price of WETH, like Ethereum on Arbitrum. So you use the chain key and then the token address. So yeah, the 4 tokens, the token address. So you can use this endpoint either to pull the price, or if you want to get a token metadata, you can use it for either purpose. So we have how many decimals the token has, the token symbol, the current price of the token, Ethereum is 3082, the date or the timestamp at which the price was updated. So this timestamp, like for all our APIs, it's unique timestamp in seconds, not milliseconds. And the confidence field is like how certain we are of the price. Like all these tokens are major tokens. They have a lot of liquidity. So we are reasonably certain this is the correct price. But if there is like a meme coin with not enough liquidity, the confidence will be lower, like 0.9 or 0.8. So yeah, this is quite handy. You can use it to get the price and metadata of any given token. Let's see, going back. And I'll go through fee and revenue. I'm actually scared to run this endpoint. Let's see how Chrome handles it. It's quite heavy because it's easy to remember. It's API overview fees. It's bit of a heavy endpoint because it returns all the information. It returns all the fee data we have from the start of when we track. It returns on a protocol level breakdown. That's yeah. Let me try to do something smart. If you want a lighter version, you can do this. Okay. I'll go through the lists later. Okay, yeah. For now, what I've done is I've skipped the chart data. Can go fees. Okay. Okay, I would come back here. What I've done is I skipped these two fields because they are very heavy. I skipped them with the parameter. This would contain data per day for all the protocols and chains. I can show a tiny example like here. We have data from Jan 1st, 2018. And I think it was Uniswap. Like the first few days, it was mere cents, so it was 0. But over time, it increases. To the latest data point. The latest data point is today, Friday, November 14th, and we have about 91 million in fees. So it's like the value in US dollars that all the users paid for all the applications today. And like this field has the breakdown data. I was wrong, it was WBTC, wrapped Bitcoin fees. Yeah, it's quite heavy, so I'll take a random day. Let's take this day. Okay. It is current day. Okay. So this for November 14th, we can see we have a breakdown curve generated like around 98,000 worth of fees. Aave version 2 generated 2,000. And yeah, essentially we have breakdown. And I'll go through rest of the fields like all chains gives us a breakdown of or like list of all the chains we are tracking at the moment. It's maybe around 400 chains. Total 24 hours is the sum of value 92 million of all the application fees. This was the value yesterday, around 75 million. Sum of last 7 days, the sum of last week, 14 to 70. This is the sum of last month, and this is the amount of fees generated this month. I'm guessing it's around 246. No, it's 2.4 billion. So in last month, they generated about 2.4 billion in fees. And the value over a year, how much has the fee changed? In 1 day, it is 22%. In 7 days, it's 14%. Like compared to 7 days ago, to be clear. The fees generated yesterday compared to the fees generated 8 days ago. Okay, this is something. TBL, we show the current data for fees, revenue, almost all other metrics. We show yesterday's data. The reason for this is it's not always possible to get entire data for today. For example, some protocols support pulling past 24 hours data. Other protocols don't support. Like we have to wait for end of the day to get that protocol's fees or.
Ulysses, it looks like we are slightly over time now.
Okay. Sorry. I think I'd probably stop here. I hope people got an idea of like the APIs. For most things, you don't need a API key. Like now, I was showing everything. The API key is usually needed only when you hit the rate limit. Maybe I can take some questions if people have any. Stop
Yeah,
sharing.
I'm not sure if we're able to. We may be a little over time. While we wait to hear, I'm gonna share my screen quickly just to show a couple things that I've that have been built with the API in like 30 seconds, so people can see. Can you see the screen now, CoinGecko?
Yep.
So just this is a like simple example, right? They use the API to pull in TVL data. A couple other more complex examples. These are actually things that I built prior to working at DefilLlama. So one was a new metric, for example, that used the fees API Ulysses was showing to compile total fees generated by chain. This is actually now an actual metric on the platform. So like one thing some people might find interesting would be to come up with some new sort of metric based on data or maybe directly from on-chain data rather than from our API. Another one that I had built was this Discord bot that uses the API to give alerts. So it gives alerts like when there's notable fee increases or when there's stablecoin inflows to a chain or other sorts of interesting markers. So rather than having to go through the platform and find it, it spits out a Discord alert. This is actually one that I had kind of vibe coded. We don't recommend that for the hackathon, but to give you a sense of what can be done. This is like a tree map that shows the change by protocol and category. So it's a different way of visualizing the data. It has a few metrics. And then the final example would be, this is actually an actual product now, but it started out as something that was built with the API. And this is a custom sheets function. So it's to bring DefilLlama data into a Google Sheet to make it slightly more useful. And so there's thousands of other things people could do with it, but this is to like give some idea of the sorts of things that have been done with the API in the past. Oh, and then the bounties. So Ulysses, do you want to talk about bounties or shall I?
No, you can do.
Okay. So bounties, our prize is $6,000 for the ETH Argentina hackathon. And we don't have any per se like specific requests that we're looking for. We are just looking for people to use our API in a creative way to create something. And I just gave some examples, but you could do that however you want. Something else, maybe some of you would try to do is our GitHub is open source. If you had some idea for something else that we could incorporate, like a new metric or something like that didn't necessarily use the API but would feed into the website, that's something also you can do. Basically, we're just looking for people to use our data or APIs in an interesting way. Oh, you're muted.
Cool. Perfect. Bueno, para todos los que están del otro lado y están escuchando, bueno, tenemos un buen bounty de parte de DefilLlama, así que nada, cualquier duda, y ellos va a estar en el Discord, pero también respondiendo dudas. Hay un canal, no sé si está, pero lo vamos a crear, un canal especial para DefilLlama, así que cualquier duda que ustedes tengan también van a poder abocarla ahí. Y dentro de lo que es Taikai también van a encontrar todos los recursos que ellos estuvieron mostrando y el premio. Al finalizar de esta sesión de workshop vamos a cargar todos los premios que mencionaban recién. Así que, ok, thank you, Ulises, thank you, Pat, and see you in the hackathon.
Thank you. See you.
Yeah,
Take
have a
care.
nice week.
See you. Bien. Ahora, en un ratito volvemos con otro stream. Tenemos una agenda súper completa. Tengo que hablar de esta porque son tantos que ya ni me acuerdo. El próximo que tenemos en la lista es Spark A1, así que bueno, tenemos 5 minutitos, cortamos el stream y arrancamos uno nuevo ya directamente con Cromar, con Mauri Vélez y el equipo de Spark A1. Así que nos vemos